Okay, this is a game between Tomb Kings and Empire. The Empire has a few proxies in it. I think that cannon over there is probably an actual Empire model. Anyway, so it's 3,000 points. It's the standard mission. I can never remember what it's called. What's it called?
Battle.
Yeah. Right. So this is the Tomb Kings deployment. First of all, we have 4 chariots. Another 4 chariots, war slinks, 20 archers, and there's also the Hierophant in there, is level 4. Got a casket of souls, 30 tomb guard with a necrotect and a king. We've got the screaming skull catapult, a necrolyth colossus, 20 archers, 3 carrion, 4 necropolis knights, another screaming skull catapult, and 5 horse archers.
Okay, and then for Empire deployment, we have a unit of great swords here, bravely represented by High Elf swordmasters. The warlord, Skaven warlord in metal, is the general, and the Skaven plague monk is the warrior priest. And then either side you can see 2 detachments of 10 crossbowmen, which are very old Dark Elf repeater crossbowmen. Behind we have actual Empire models in a Hellblaster volley gun. This is a Celestial Luminarch.
It's a Hurricanum.
Celestial Hurricanum, yeah, that's the one. Or a Plague Furnace, if whatever you will. And then over here we have our main core block, which is a unit of 50 State Troop Spearmen, which has the Battle Wizard Lord, ably acted out by Teclis here, and the Battle Standard Bearer, ably acted out by my Skaven BSB. And then on their left is a detachment of 20 swordsmen, which contains a level 2 Battle Wizard with the Law of Fire. Sorry, the Battle Wizard Lord has the Law of Shadow. And then on the right, the second detachment is a unit of 20 Halberdiers. Behind is an Empire Great Cannon with a Master Engineer attached. He is indeed a Master Engineer, having slotted himself on many occasions in previous battles, as you'll probably see with some of the previous reports we've done. But he's always good fun, and he is probably the closest I'm going to get to an engineer this battle. Then towards the right flank, these random array of ancient Dark Elves are a unit of 20 handgunners. And then over here, behind the Barn of Destiny, you can just see that is an Empire Mortar. And then on the right flank we have a Hellpit, who is playing the role of a steam tank today, and then a unit of 10 Empire Knights with a mounted priest. And yeah, that's the Empire deployment in full. So now we just have to see who gets to go first.
Okay, end of Tomb Kings turn 1. The chariots just kind of moved up a bit, as is everything else. Nothing really that spectacular. The carrion just kind of moved up a bit, with, and so the horse archers. Right, in the magic phase, got 9 dice. Put 6 into the casket, got Irresistible Force, and managed to take out his cannon, and also the engineer, just because of the sheer number of wounds I got. So yeah, a little bit demoralising for Sai. Then it jumped to the Halberdiers. I think he killed 1, or maybe none of them. No, it killed none. Then it jumped to these guys, killed a couple, and then it just ended. So that was pretty good. Then in the shooting phase, yeah, I had some horrendous luck, much to Sai's disgust. This catapult fired at the steam tank, did 6 wounds to it. which is well, kind of almost rendered it useless now. This catapult fired at the Luminarch, hit it, wounded it, and did 5 wounds, killing it outright, which is pretty fucking good. Sorry, Si. And then, yeah, the archers fired at something. Yeah, I don't know if they killed anything. These guys, well, everything kind of fired, everything with a bow fired at something. I think I killed a couple of crossbowmen. Yeah, with these guys I think I killed like 5, 6 crossbowmen. But yeah, so sort of peppered them. Yeah, it's a really good turn. Hopefully so I can recover from that. So it's the end of Tomb King's turn 1.
Okay, end of Empire turn 1. Basically not much moved. I just edged a few things forward. Obviously with the steam tank being unable to do absolutely anything, even though it tried to generate some steam points. Yeah, it ended up having a problem, a boiler leak, and losing all the points it tried to generate. So yeah, it was pretty much nullified, which I suspect it probably will be all game unless I get really lucky. Which is unfortunate because now the cavalry are kind of pissing in the wind a bit out on the far flank. So yeah, things, important lessons learned. Like realising that this actually just worked like a stone thrower and not how I thought it worked, which meant that it always fired indirectly. So yeah, I did manage to get, however, a nice hit on the Tomb Guard, coupled with Pit of Shades in the magic phase has knocked down their number by 7, so I've taken nearly a third of the unit out of the game, which is nice. Let's hope it stays that way. Then yeah, I pretty much, the rest of the shooting was ineffective. I realised that the Hellblaster, A, it had to roll to hit, which I didn't read up properly, and B, it only had a 24-inch range. So unfortunately placing it there, it was not particularly sensible. But yeah, you didn't learn. First game with a new codex and all. So yeah, it's so that basically didn't shoot. Magic phase was fairly good actually. I got a Pit of Shades off, so I rolled 12 dice, and I got Enfeebling Foe, reducing their strength by 1, so they're now just strength 4. Would have liked obviously to roll a 3 and have them at strength 2, but yeah, you can't have everything. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bag, not quite as good as Tomb King's first turn, but yeah, on average, interesting. So yeah, onwards to Tomb King's turn 2.
Okay, end of Tomb King's turn 2. The chariots and the Sphinx moved up a bit. So did the Tomb Guard and the Giant. These guys pretty much stayed where they are. The carrier moved up a bit as well to kind of threaten his handgunners. Literally just threatening them rather than actually being a danger to them. Just like swearing at them and that. Okay, so what happens? The magic phase tried to cast several spells, but rolled quite low for one of the bigger ones, and so ended up getting everything dispelled. So yeah, that's the usual bust that I expect from a magic phase. In the shooting phase wasn't really that good. This guy threw a rock at these guys, managed to kill one. They passed their break test, which is a shame. This one fired at the great swords, and it scattered onto the halberdiers there. Managed to kill a couple. They passed their break test. Then the rest of the archers just sort of shot the crossbowmen, took quite a few off, but they passed their break test as well. So yeah. I think I fired at the Hellblaster as well, which was pretty stupid, but didn't do anything to it. And that was it. So end of Tomb King's turn 2.
Okay, end of Empire turn 2. Basically, the great swords led by the heroic Squeaking General here have sent these men to certain death, as any good Skaven would. Yeah, basically I've sent the remainder of my detachments up ahead in an attempt to kind of use them as redirectors and the like. and basically get this guy out of the way of the Hellblaster, who managed to get a nice 20 shots on the Necrosphinx, but alas, didn't do anything. War Sphinx. I'll get it right one day.
Yeah, the dad's like a Necrosphinx.
Yeah, so I tried, got 20 shots. I think I did one wound to him. Yeah, a wound. Chipped him off. However, the magic phase was relatively uneventful, other than I did force Ollie to use his scroll. Otherwise, I would have done 3d6 strength 4 hits upon this unit, which, judging by what's left there, I might have got him down quite a lot. But alas, he did scroll it, so it's a bit null and void. But yeah, it was nice to force him to use it. I left the Bone Giant alone. Basically, these guys didn't really move much at all. The rest of it, the Steam Tank again failed. Managed to cause itself 5 strength 2 hits, but thankfully I failed to wound. The Knights have moved up a bit. These guys shot and basically killed. I got ridiculously lucky hits, needing 5 with 15 shots. I got 13 hits, 7 of which wounded. So yeah, it kind of was pretty nice. So I've knocked that unit down to half strength, and if I can keep that going, then I can at least remove one of the big threats of his army. But yeah, interesting things is happening. I haven't blown up any of my stuff yet, which is quite shocking because usually half my army's wiped out by my own hand by now. So yeah, it'll be onwards to Tomb King's turn 3.
Okay, end of Tomb King's turn 3, and the combat started now. Done a bit of charging. The Necropolis Knights charged the what are they called? They're just called Knights, aren't they?
Yeah, it's Empire Knights.
It's Empire Knights. The Carrion charged the handgunners. These chariots charged that lone crossbowman who was there, and the Sphinx charged the other unit of crossbowmen. In the magic phase, I just spammed a load of spells with relatively few dice. I think it cost 4 in total, which is at the first. 2 of them got dispelled. One got scrolled, one got dispelled. One he failed to dispel, I think. So I managed to get 2 off on this. So they got an extra attack and the Desert Wind spell as well. So I managed to get 7 guys back, which is really nice. So they're looking a bit more healthy now. Then in the shooting phase, I think it was a bust. I just missed a lot of things. I don't think I really killed anything in the shooting phase. This scattered. This one killed 1 swordman from a detachment. And yeah, so not much in the shooting phase. In the close combat phase though, it was really good though. So the Sphinx butchered those crossbowmen, as expected. The chariots managed to kill that lone crossbowman, which wasn't expected, but it's nice to be.
Nice benefit.
Yeah, it's pretty handy. Nice to know that they can kill something. And they luckily got their overrun into these guys, so they'll be expecting some impact hits this time as well. The Scorpion came up over there to threaten the Hellblaster. The Carrion did really well as well. They didn't take any casualties and managed to kill some of those guys. So he still passed his steadfast day. And the Necropolis Knights absolutely slapped those knights about. They killed the Warrior Priest with a killing blow. Killing blowed another knight, and then the actual snakes killed, I think, 2 or 3. Broke them and fled, but unfortunately they didn't quite catch them. So really good turn, looking very optimistic. So yeah, so all I've got dead at the moment is a load of Singard who are growing back by the minute, so going well. So let's see what I can do about that.